بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. So today we start an exciting journey, inshallah. We've been doing very short stories with Tashkeel and we've been doing it very basically. And now I think it's time we advanced. We moved on a little bit and we did stories without tashkeel. Okay, so we advancing a little bit. But because it's the first time we're doing this, I wanted us to start simple and then we can gradually increase our knowledge. So the stories that we're going to be doing, I picked up some stories here, stories of the prophets, something we are familiar with so that it's a bit easier for us to understand. And then maybe later on we'll do other stories that are unfamiliar to us so that we can be able to enhance our skills, our reading skills, our listening skills, our vocabulary. I haven't done a lot of preparation for this class because I also want to surprise myself, hopefully. So we are in this together. I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes, but I want us to learn together and to be able to grow together. So that's how it's going to be the journey. We're going to grow together. And we might have to look up some words because again, it's not a story for beginner levels like we've been doing. This is just I pulled up a story and we're just going to see how it looks, and inshallah we'll see how it goes. Okay, so how I imagine us doing this, because I can do this on my own, like the way we are doing, the assignments. I could just sit down and I can figure out the harakat, I can figure out the meaning on my own. But I want us to have sort of like we participate, like sort of everybody chips in and we figure out, okay, so why is this read like this and not like this? If I encounter a word that could be read different ways, why should I read like this and why not like that? So I want us to participate and I want us to work together in this. And even if there's somebody who wants to read, they can volunteer, they can raise their hands and they can actually try and read. And we can figure out why is this like this. And if there's a word that we don't understand the meaning, we can go and check out the meaning. So the story is very simple. I don't know if I should do the introduction bit of it. So this part is just introduction. There are 3 stories, but we'll do probably just one and then discuss the grammar, the vocabulary, and so on and so forth. So I don't know if I want to do the introduction, we'll see. Or we just go straight to, what do you guys think? Should we do the introduction? Because then this is the introduction. That's quite a lot. And then we have this bit over here. And then now we have the first story, which is not a very long story. It's just, it goes all the way up to here. This is the end of the story. So what do you guys think? Should we just jump into the story? Or do you want us to read whatever comes before? Maybe we can just read it and not really pay much attention to it. I don't know. This is new waters for me as well. Yes,
Yeah, we
Maryam.
reading it and not just discuss the grammar behind it, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, okay, we can try. Bismillah. If I make mistakes, guys, if I read a fatha where it's not supposed to be or a kasra, because again, I'm not a pro at reading without tashkeel. It's a new area for me as well. So if you see a mistake that I make, please point it out. Okay, Bismillah. ولا أجمل من القصص القصيرة المعبرة والتي نأخذ منها أجمل وأسمى العبر والفوائد في أسرع وقت ممكن على الإطلاق. وكلما قرأنا أكثر كلما ازدادنا معرفة، وكلما ازدادت شخصيتنا قوة، وأصبح لدينا القدرة الكبيرة على التحليل وعلى صناعة القرارات المثلى، وبات لدينا خبرات واسعة في النقاشات في كل مجالات الحياة. فالقراءة أهم وسيلة ممكنة على الإطلاق للمعرفة I don't know what this is.
والاطلاع.
اطلاع. What does it mean? This
I
is a new
think,
word.
I don't know, maybe like sort of information, because in Urdu we say to to give information when we use this word ittila.
اطلاع. Okay. Yeah, it could be اطلاع. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. والقراءة سببا أساسيا ورئيسيا لتقدم ونهضة الشعوب. ومن أهم الأشياء التي ينصب عليها نصب ينصب or نصب ينصب. I'm not so sure about the حركة on this one. Yeah, so that's something to maybe check out later. عليها تركيز واهتمام المربين للصغار والكبار هي القراءة. ولا يمكننا أن ننسى مطلقا أن أول آية نزلت على رسولنا الكريم بالقرآن الكريم كانت اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. So basically he's talking about the importance of reading, summarizing all that, how it increases us in knowledge and increases our personality and strengthens us and things like that. Yeah, and improves us in different aspects of life. Yeah. So, and of course, the first ayah that was sent to the Prophet ﷺ is اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق, talking about reading. So just the importance of reading in general. القراءة غداء القراءة غداء للعقل.
But it's غذاء,
غذاء.
and the food.
Food is
للعقل, like the food for
yeah,
your
lunch. غداء.
lunch, yeah.
Maybe there are two ways of reading that.
غذاء or غذاء. I'm not sure if it's غذاء or غذاء, but it's like the food.
Yeah, lunch. Let me just confirm that. I'm not so sure also. غداء. Yeah, غداء. Breakfast or lunch? Yeah.
Sister, it is with dal, not dal.
No, it's dal. غداء.
In the story, it's not غدا.
Oh, so this is something else then. I've been reading it as غداء. Oh, then okay.
So
Oh, so this is a new word I didn't know about. So I've been reading it as غداء, thinking it's lunch, because that's the word I know. Ah, nice. غداء. غذاء. All right. See, this is already getting interesting. So القراءة غذاء. غذاء. It's food. This is a new word. Interesting. Can I? Oh, let me see if I can be able to write. Not writing so well. Anyway, القراءة غذاء للعقل والروح. So it's both the food for the mind and the soul. والكتاب خير جليس بكل الحياة. And books is the best company throughout life. وأهم شيء يمكننا تناوله عند الحديث. And the best thing we can consume, or I'm thinking of the other meaning of تناول, to deal with. Okay, so the best thing we can deal with, or the best thing we can consume عند الحديث, doing stories عن أهمية القراءة, basically about the importance of reading. أن أهمية القراءة تتعدى من الفرد القارئ للمجتمع بأكمله. فأهمية القراءة لا تنحصر على صاحبها وحسب. So the importance of reading is not just تنحصر. Does anybody know what this word means? Maybe it does not end. I don't know. Let's just check that out. So we're going to be doing a lot of this because also
I think it depend on something. No, confined. Okay.
تنحصر. Am I typing it correctly?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like
Oh,
it's
it's not
not
confined. Oh,
who's reading the stories. It's like
yeah. It's not confined to the reader alone. So I mean, the importance of reading is not confined to the reader alone. بل وكل من خالطهم. Instead, it's everyone who, again, I don't know this word. خالطهم طوال حياته. خالط. Just check that out. I should have done a better job, but I wanted to surprise myself. خالطة. Oh, so everyone that he mixes with and intermingles. Oh, from mixing. Yeah, of course. So this is how sarf comes in handy. You can know the root letters and the meaning in family one, and then you just put it in like jahada and kind of has the same meaning. So he's saying the importance of reading is not confined to just the reader alone, but instead it is everyone that he mingles with throughout his life. SubhanAllah, the fact that we can understand this is amazing. Or even read this. Okay, القصة الأولى, the first story. But there, if somebody wants to participate, please feel free. Let me know, and then we can do this. So بيوم من الأيام, we've seen في يوم من الأيام several times. Now here we have a different kind of rendition. بيوم من الأيام, still once upon a time, like one of the days. سأل أحد عن الدنيا. A person asked about the dunya. Okay. فقام آخر. So another person stood up وأجابه and answered him إجابة. إجابة ما أبسطها. Oh, he answered him with an answer that how amazing and how simplistic it was. Like with a very simple. Again, this ما أبسطها is ما تعجبية. Like we learned about this in I think advanced structures. ما أفعله, this type of pattern. وما أفعلها. So this is what the same pattern that's happening here. So how amazing it was, simplistic it was, how amazingly simple it was, that answer that he gave. قال له, he said to him, لقد اختصر أبو العتاهية الدنيا في 6 أبيات. So اختصر, مختصر, to summarize. So this guy Abu al-Atahiya summarized about the dunya in 6 verses, abiyat, like poetry. So the verses of poetry, if you will. So we're going to see this poetry now. This is very interesting. Okay. نأتي إلى الدنيا ونحن سواسية. نأتي إلى الدنيا ونحن سواسية. We come into the world ونحن سواسية, and we are the same. Like sawa, we know this word sawa, same, similar, alike. So this one is along the same lines. So we come into this dunya and we're all the same. We're all alike. طفل الملوك كطفل الحاشية. The child of a king is like the child of a servant. حاشية is a servant. ونغادر الدنيا ونحن كما ترى. And we leave the world, the dunya, and we are like you see, like you. ونحن كما ترى, and we are as you see. Like you all know how we live the dunya, how we die, and what state we die in. So that's basically what the poet is trying to say. متشابهون على قبور حافية. So متشابهون, we are similar again. تشابه يتشابه, to be similar, to be alike. So we resemble each other. على قبور, in graves. حافية, barefoot. We don't have any shoes. You're not buried with any footwear. Like basically we go to the graves barefoot. أعمالنا تعلي وتخفض شأننا. Our deeds على أعلى يعلي, are elevated, if you will, or risen. So from ulu, ala wa, that root letters. So our deeds are elevated. وتخفض شأننا, and our matters, because شأن, I think our affairs are lowered. Okay. وحسابنا بالحق يوم الغاشية, and our account of our truthful account, or our accounting with purpose and with truth, because we know al-haq has several meanings. So our accounting بالحق, with truth, with purpose, with due rights, يوم الغاشية, will be on the day of غاشية, the day of judgment. حور وأنهار قصور عالية. حور العين, so we know حور العين. I don't know what they're called in English. They don't have a word in English, so it's just حور العين. وأنهار, and rivers, and قصور عالية, and high mansions or high castles. وجهنم تصلى ونار حامية, and Jahannam tusla, I think something to do with burning, and the Jahannam, and the burning Jahannam, if you will, or like, or roasting, wanarun hamia, and again, hamia is burning, so on the fire burning. فاختار فاختر okay فاختر لنفسك ما تحب وتبتغي, so choose for yourself what you love and what you desire. وتبغون, like this word means like what you wish for, what you desire. ما دام يومك والليالي باقية, for as long as your day and your nights remain. وغدا مسيرك لا تراجع بعده, and tomorrow your destiny, like basically, and tomorrow is your destiny, or tomorrow your destiny awaits. لا تراجع بعده, you will not return before, like you cannot go back, like once you've you've reached your destiny, that's it. أما أو إما إما جنان الخلد وإما الهاوية. Either it's going to be the gardens, eternal gardens in Jannah, or it's going to be al-Hawiya, the hellfire, Jahannam. Al-Hawiya, I think, is another name for Jahannam. Okay. All right. I don't know if I did with the harakat. If you guys noticed any mistake, please, you can let me know. Because again, it's going to be a very interesting journey together. So let's see. العبرة من القصة. So what is the lesson? What is the moral lesson that we can derive from the story? بكل بساطة شديدة, very simplistically, basically, بساطة, simple, plain. So with a very plain, simplistic view, أن حالنا جميعا, that all our states هو الحال التشابه. So basically, simplistically saying that all our states is a state of resembling each other, the state of similarity. جميعنا كنا أطفالا صغارا. All of us, we were young babies, we were little children. وجميعنا منتهانا القبر, and all of us, our muntaha, this is basically ظرف, our end, muntaha, so our end, our final destination, our what else, like basically, yeah, our end. I can't think, because intaha is to end. Our final, if you will, is the qabr, is the grave. لن يفرق, I think, or يفرق, it could be يفرق or يفرق. We can just go with family one, because if it was family two, maybe they would have a shadda there, I don't know. So we'll just go with family one. لن يفرق سواء أكان أطفالا لملوك أم كنا أطفالا للحاشية. So لن يفرق it's not different. Okay, it doesn't distinguish or separate, or it's not different. سواء, it's the same whether we are children of kings or we are children of slaves or servants. ولكن ما نختلف فيه حقا أننا بيوم الحساب. So in reality, or truly the thing, however, truly the thing that we differ from each other is that on the day of al-hisab, on the day of accounting, هناك من سيعلى بأعماله, there will be a person who will be elevated because of their deeds, وهناك من سيكون أسفل أسفلين, and there will be a person who would be the lowest of the low. هناك من ستكون القصور والحور من نصيبه. There will be a person who will have castles and حور العين من نصيبه from his share, like he will have a share of castles and حورس. وهناك منا من سيصلى بنار حامية. سيصلى and there will be those of us who will be roasted basically in بنار حامية, in the fire that is burning. وعلى كل حكيم منا, and وعلى كل حكيم منا, if you see this kind of structure, على plus أن, علي أن أذهب, or على زيد أن يقرأ, for example. This kind of structure, على dash 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 أن, it means it is incumbent upon me, or it is mandatory, it is necessary, this kind of meaning, yeah? So وعلى كل حكيم منا, and therefore it is incumbent, or it is mandatory, it is necessary for every wise person among us أن يختار لنفسه ما يريده, to choose for himself what he wants. حقا. Okay, I need to read this again so that I can incorporate حقا. وعلى كل حكيم منا أن يختار لنفسه ما يريده حقا. So it is necessary for every wise person among us to choose for himself what he truly wants. قبل انتهاء الأعمار وفنائها. Before the end of الأعمار, عمر, lifespan, if you will, how long you live. So الأعمار will be the plural of that. So before the end of the life, وفنائها, again, فنا is also the end. Okay, so before the life ends, basically. قبل الندم والحسرة, before الندم is regret, so before we experience regret, والحسرة and loss. فإما أن يختار لنفسه العمل الذي سيمكنه من دخول جنات الخلد وإما جحيم مقيم. Okay, so either إما means either he chooses for himself deeds that سيمكنه, that will enable him, مكن يمكنه, من دخول جنات الخلد, will enable him to enter the eternal gardens, وإما جحيم مقيم, or to enter the Jahannam permanently, like as a permanent resident, if you will. Right, so that's basically our story. I don't know if there are any questions or any corrections or clarifications, or do you guys want us to look at the oops, did I do? Any ideas also how we're going to do this? Because honestly, I don't know how to, I'm still figuring out how I want to do this, because it's a new journey for me as well. Was it clear? Was it understand? I don't think it's a very difficult story. It's a very easy. The poetry was nice. It was flowing and very nice. The lesson behind it was also very nice. So there's really not much happening uh, in terms of difficulty or anything.
Yeah, it was a nice little story.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, so that's just what I wanted us to cover today, because I wanted us to do bit by bit, because this is uncharted waters for all of us, especially me. I wasn't ready for this class, to be honest, but uh, I guess we'll figure it out as we go on. So maybe next time we will do the second story and also the moral behind it as we go on, inshallah. Any grammatical questions that somebody might be having, and we can take a look at that, or any other comments? Okay. Maybe next time somebody else can do the reading and we can interact and we can try and figure out why am I reading this word like this and not in any other way, or how to read. Like there's certain pointers that tells you, if, like for example, if you see a hamza on an alif, of course that's going to be e. If you see a letter followed by a fatha, that's going to be a. So ija batan or ija. And of course here ijabatan here is a maf'ul mutlaq. That's why it's ijabatan, because it's maf'ul mutlaq of ajaba. Ajabahu ijabatan. Yeah, so there's those kinds of tricks. Like for example, if you see a consonant followed by ya, that means you're gonna have a kasra here. Yeah, so you're just gonna know, like, okay. Of course, if you see a dhamma followed, this we know how to read this. This is abu, aba. This is asma'ul khamsa. So it's either gonna be abu, aba, abi. So there's those kinds of tricks that just makes you like know how to go about it. It's the word al-ittila', that's the one that threw me off, because I didn't know the word. Where is it? This one. I didn't know the word, and you can either read it as al-ittila' or al-itla'. But of course, if you read as al-itla', it will have a hamza, because it will be from aslama family. It will be like al-itlaq here. But because it doesn't have a hamza, so obviously that's why I was struggling, because I know it's
Yeah,
not
it gives
aslama.
the
Yeah,
it gives the what's called it, what's called it gives the ishara that it's ittala'a yattali'u ittila'an.
exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
because it's not like itla, So
yeah,
if we can, yani it's a little easy to pick, if we, yeah,
exactly. Yeah, you can be able to differentiate. Like
yeah.
these clues, like if you see these clues, they kind of tell you. Of course, if you see an alif at the end of the word, that means sababan. You're gonna put fatha on it, like things like that. So there are so many little things that can be able to assist to know whether to put a fatha, a dhamma, a kasra here and there. Yeah, but of course, knowing the word helps. Like for example, if I knew this word, which I didn't know since today, then I would have probably knew exactly how to handle it. But yeah, al-ittila. So that's interesting. Any other tricks you have for me, Hamid? It feels like you know a few other tricks.
As self-conjugation, you know better than me, of course. What I will tell. Uh, uh, let me think about it if there is any trick, you know.
Inshallah, then maybe you can
Yeah,
share in the group.
group.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you're right. Sarf is what helps a lot.
yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of people ask and tell me, "Oh, do I really need sarf?" You need sarf. Without sarf,
Mhm.
you can't read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for example, if there is some books doesn't differentiate between Hamza and Alif. In
Mm,
those books, it's a little bit
challenge.
difficult, yeah, challenging. But
Yeah.
some books they prefer to put Hamza and Alif. In these books, it's easy to pick. For example, if some word is starting from Alif, like ittila', it's easy
Yeah.
to pick either it is iftaraba or infa'ala, like that. It's
Mm.
starting from Alif. So yeah,
And you
so
can imagine if you had
it
alif.
cannot. Yeah.
without the Hamza. It can either be in, inna, an, anna.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Very confusing.
Very confusing. So ya and alif maqsura, it should be differentiated. Hamza and alif, it should be differentiated for the reader to make it easy.
Absolutely. Exactly. Yeah, those are important telltale signs on how to read it. Yeah, alif maqsura, if you see you don't read this as Ali, of course this is ala. And of course if it was a ya, you would read it as Ali.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are important.
Ali or Ali, Aliya, you know?
Oh, Ali, yeah, yes.
Yeah, Aliya, sorry. Or Aliya, Aliya, I think so. Yeah. Upon me.
Yeah. Oh, alayya. That would be alayya. Like alayha here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it would be alayya. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if there's any other comments. I think we can end here. I'm having a storm brewing here. So I don't know if you heard the thunder. There was a very loud thunder. Anyway, I think we can end there. I think that was a good start of our story. I'm gonna prepare much better next time, inshallah. But I wanted to just see how much I can be able to do without prior preparation. So far, not so bad. Not so bad. Maybe inshallah, once we are done with all this, we can now go to tafsir and actually read tafsir. That would be exciting. Inshallah, someday. Yeah. All right, guys. I think we can end there. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم, guys.